Okay, I think I am in. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for asking.
Good to see you, man.
Well, me too, me too. It's been a while, huh?
Almost a year.
Yeah, I was actually scrolling through my phone and it showed me 1 year ago I was in the States.
That's
So
crazy.
that was something, yeah. Was an experience nevertheless, I cannot lie.
Nice. Let me see if I can get Ennis in. I don't know. It's just really slow today for some reason.
Let's see. I
There
think
he
he's in.
is.
He's
He's
in.
already got his Michigan shirt on.
You gotta blend in somehow.
Okay, cool. Well, first off, thanks guys for like agreeing to do this. I mean, it's really kind of you. Secondly, we got about I think we got a good amount here. I think we can go ahead and start. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure.
No problem.
Okay. Okay, cool. So Enes and Adib, you guys are both from Syria, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And Enes, you did your elective in your first month was internal medicine, right?
Yep, correct.
And now you're doing your ICU ER.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So basically, the both of you have done the same elective.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow, amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So NS is for those who don't know, NS is there now, and Adib had gone there last year. So it would be interesting to see like the perspective from both, from somebody that's been there a year ago and somebody that's there now. Also, Adib went there while he was a student. Anas is a graduate right now. Um, I'm gonna I honestly I've like the whole point of this live was I just want this to be as raw as possible so people can kind of get like the real insights of like what happened there on a daily,
Mm.
how it was for you guys there, and then we'll open the floor for some students to ask questions.
Yeah, sure thing.
Sure. Do it. Let's do it. I'm
Okay.
super excited and I'm happy to get the opportunity to just try and somehow make these upcoming students and the students who went already to relive the whole moments of the rotation. So yeah, if if you don't mind, maybe you could take the mic first and just speak about your experience and
Yeah,
see
no
some.
worries, of course. So I actually knew about this program from a friend of mine.
Mm.
I won't lie to you, it was not in my plans to do anything in the States.
Okay.
But then I was sitting and suddenly my friend texted me. She's like, "Oh, by the way, there's this program and they do electives in the States and it's not like AMO or something." So at first I was a little bit uh, like I was criticizing the whole thing. Like, are you sure? Are they for real? Are they? And then she told me, yes, yes, she knows many people who went with them. Um, Long story short, I got the contact. I contacted Mo, and he genuinely was really helpful with the whole process. I mean, I was a bit of a pain with all the requests I had for my university. Like, oh, we need the paper, the acceptance letter to say the number of hours worked, the number of days you need to be. And then I need another paper for the embassy to apply because, as you know, being Syrian, life is amazing when you apply for any visa, when you need to try
Oh,
anything. So the whole process took a while, but alhamdulillah, يعني, I don't know how it managed to work out. And I arrived in the States. Um, I was a little bit anxious about the whole experience. Like, I've never traveled somewhere that far alone, let's say. And I was also lucky enough to get an accommodation through Phronesis that same friend, Sarah, who told me about it, also experienced, and she was like, "Oh, they're actually good people, the whole place." So I managed to book my accommodation, which was like 10 minutes away from the clinics, from the doctor's clinic. And however, my luck, um, the doctor was in a vacation, I think, when I went. He had something to do in Istanbul, so I thought my experience would a little bit be like wavy or something, but no, somehow it was even better. I got to meet Dr. Ahmed, and Dr. Ahmed was kind enough to let me rotate with him in the hospital instead of the clinic. And I rotated in the ICU as well as in the internal medicines team. And we would always go back and forth between the internal medicine and the emergency department to make sure, oh, who can we admit, who doesn't need to be admitted, all of that. I was a fifth-year student when I went, and I'm studying in Turkey. So my clinical experience hasn't been that up to date, let's say, because, language barrier, all of that in Turkey. So I couldn't genuinely get a feel of what it's like to be a clinical doctor. And Dr. Ahmed was really kind and really supportive in like helping me do all the clinical work that I missed out as a student. So first I was genuinely anxious. I was scared, like, oh, it's my first time dealing with actual patients, not a presentation on a paper or anything. And as the days went on, I was actually on the night shift schedule also. So it was not something I signed up for, but but it worked. And we would go from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. every day. And I remember asking, oh, is there no weekend? It's like, no, no weekends. It's just full 14 days of night shifts. So my
Just
experience in
just
the US was purely
just
academic.
just grinding, just
Yeah, it was
grinding.
purely academic. There was no tourism involved whatsoever. I barely had time for anything. And I learned a lot. And I genuinely felt like the team was very welcoming in the hospital. Uh, no one made me feel out of place. No one made me feel bad for being a foreigner, for being Syrian, for all that. Like all the stuff that you're used to hearing abroad, I didn't feel, I didn't experience any of it. Maybe because I was in Michigan, and Michigan is full of our people, or maybe because the people there are genuinely nice. That's also an option. But
I think it's a mix of everything.
it can be, and the fact that I'm still in contact with Dr. Ahmed till this day. I think it also speaks levels. He isn't just, let's say, a doctor per se. No, he's also a friend. He was also someone who would just ramble around random stuff, or about life, about the football game, about which song do we like the most. We had to do a 2-hour drive every day between my accommodation and the hospital. So like, it was let's say, a unique experience. And to top it all off, I also managed to work in the clinic as well, to see the calm lifestyle of the clinic. In the hospital, it's all running, running, running. You're like, oh, it's a quiet day. You say the keywords, 50 patients roll in, all that. However, in the clinic, you just deal with 4 or 5 patients. And so I got to see, let's say, both ends of the spectrum. I got to see the running, crowded moment of medicine, let's say, the experience of medicine. And I got to see that chilled, laid back, relaxed part of medicine, where you're just sitting, talking with the patient, seeing what's wrong with them. Uh, we were also surprisingly trusted by the doctors to do the full physical exam ourselves and the history taking, which was also shocking for me. So I would go, and the doctor would be like, "Okay, you do your thing. I'm gonna ask you later." And then
Nice.
you have to do the full thing. You're gonna be like, "Okay, I need to take the patient's history. I need to check his vitals. I need to do all the physical exam. Does he have a heart murmur? Does he have all of that stuff?" And then you would kind of summarize it back to the doctor. And I wasn't judged, maybe because I wasn't a graduate. I think that's also something that went for me. I was just a student, so I could always use that card. Um, but it was genuinely a very humbling experience. It made me feel kind of like, okay, this is the actual kind of medicine I signed up to study, not just the memorizing papers, doing exams, all that. No, like the human part of it, where you deal with the people actually smiling to you, talking to you, all that interaction. It's something that I think is really needed for students. especially for those who are wanting to go abroad, wherever it is, whether it's the USA, whether it's Europe, whatever. Because let's say in our countries, we don't deal with patients in this way. It's more of a just make sure they don't die. Tamam, they're good, send them back home. However, in my experience, it was more of a connection level with the patient, especially in the clinic. Let's say the doctor really cared about the patients. The patients really loved the doctor back, and there were no negative reviews whatsoever. Every patient would be so happy to come to Dr. Murray. They're like, oh, finally, we had booked an appointment 3 months before. We have booked an appointment 5 months. Just they want to see that exact same doctor. So that's also something I think that speaks levels about the professionalism that we're dealing with here. And yeah, like I think that's my experience as a summary. Of course, if anyone has more questions, more detailed questions, I would be happy to answer them. That's just what I can remember of the whim. To top it all off, also, I managed to receive 2 recommendation letters from both doctors who were there. I think students love this word, recommendation letters,
Of
and
course.
they were genuine recommendations. It was not just a sample. That's just where they changed my name to another name. No, the recommendation letter I received from Dr. Ahmed was probably one of the best letters I have in my
Oh, wow.
collection. And he mentioned everything. He mentioned the night shifts. He mentioned how we fought sleep to stay up. He mentioned the improvement that he witnessed as days passed, all of that. So you can also think of it like in a materialistic way. Oh, you're going to do an elective, you're going to get a recommendation letter at the end. So that's also something that people, I think, should be wary of.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. I mean, that was a nice little like sum up, I guess, about like your time there.
You're very
Cool.
welcome. It was just a month. I mean, I tried to do as much as I can in 1 month.
Well, you did a lot, man. Yeah, well, I
So
second everything you said,
so
actually.
basically NS what Adib did was week on Owasso,
Oh,
week off Rochester, week on Owasso, week off Rochester.
oh, that's something. I mean, I'm doing it in terms of driving, but go back to the clinic. God, that's something, man. Yeah,
And NS is with our student from Gaza as well, by the way.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
such an honor,
In
man, to be with.
the-
Yeah, yeah. Sharing the
NS, I feel like you have so much to say.
yeah. My look shell shocked for the audience. It's we had two codes actually, not one. We had 2 intubations in the last 3 days. It was yeah, it was something actually. The last couple of days were
You had 2 code blues, 3 intubations.
yeah, and then just in 3 days, man. People are getting sick a lot. I don't know. Yeah. So it's all about the exposure. So
Okay, wait, before you start,
yeah.
like walk us through exactly what happened from moment of alert to intubation.
So here's the thing. So probably students, not say students. If there's any graduate here, he would definitely know that it's different from what the movies advocate for and what the
Trust me, even students, we also know that. We
oh really.
also- Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like running and going blah blah blah. No, everything is fast. So actually, the first thing the doctor Ahmed said is you gotta be as calm as you can because um, when you're going there, the patient might be already dead or he's at the verge of death, and everyone is panicking there.
Oh wow.
So whenever
Wow.
whenever they see a panicking doctor, they will I mean everything is gonna go downhill from there. So he was like, be as calm as you can, organize your thoughts, start remembering the ABCs whenever you're going to the room. So don't just start. Yeah, let's do this. And he was actually the calmest person in the room. And you would expect that everyone in the room are they are professionals. They've done everything 100 times. Nobody will be as nervous as you might expect them. But the thing is, well, I would definitely say that there were some panicky nurses, and they are
Oh, sure.
professionals, man. Yeah.
100. Yeah.
So everything is on top of the doctor's head at that moment, in terms of being very verbal on what to do, what not to do, and how to do it, and to do it fast. And uh, it all comes down to how is the doctor mentally able to absorb all of the tension in the room in order to give the utmost perfect care for the patient who's literally on the verge of death. So yeah, we went there. We were revising on the way we were going to the room. We were just going through the steps, the first steps that we're gonna do. We entered the room. We started to the doctor started to give orders. He started to say, you do this, you do that, and eventually the patient did have another chance in life. Yeah, and he was transferred out of the facility. But the thing is, um, yeah, I can't stress enough on how much important is to get this exposure while you are a student, or even if you're a graduate and you're new to the system and stuff. Because the thing is, especially with Dr. Ahmed, by the way, and this everyone who's willing to do United States clinical experience sleep on this point, actually, which is how I am ready to get into residency. How I mean, what do I have to be a good BGY1? What exactly I'm lacking on? What exactly I'm super good at? So these things, these weak points, are deeply explored, and whatever stands out that you're leaking and you're weak at, that the doctor will definitely tell you about it, and will how to say, he will sharpen your skills on being a very good resident, rather than just knowing. I mean, at that point, it's especially when you're gonna take the electives. But yeah, I mean, all of this exposure, it's only a good thing to have it, actually, even though it was a lot in the past couple days. But having a good mentor too, who will happily involve you, and I will just, so even when the cold, I mean, I took the job of giving CPR to the patient, and checking his pulse, and because sometimes patients do go pulseless while we are resuscitating them, and to then uh, always listen what do the doctors say, because sometimes the nurses will go full blown mode, and they won't listen effectively to the doc. So you'll also be very. I mean, when the doctor asks, is the patient having pulse? No, nobody answered. It was it's only me, because I was assigned that job. So there's a full responsibility on you in that room. There's no bystanders. Whenever there's a code, there's no bystanders. So you'll definitely know the A to Z about the protocol, and what is important, and how do they do this in the US. It's quite different from each country, but it's still the same in pretty much the guideline and stuff. So yeah, the past couple days were something, actually. I do hope that everybody comes here, yeah, experience the same, which I'm sure they would, actually.
I mean, I experienced a code blue. It was also the same thing you said.
Yeah.
It's traumatizing at the beginning, but then
Then once you get a hold of it, I mean,
yeah, as you said, it's the teamwork that you witness. You see, like, the respiratory team comes in, the internist comes in, the anesthesiologist comes in, the nurses, everyone has a job. You're keeping track of the time. You're keeping track how much epinephrine you've given. You do compressions. You do the bag rebreather, everything. And unfortunately, my patient did not have a chance at life. But I was also, like I was sitting. I still remember. I thought I was a student. I had nothing to do. And then next thing I've known is Adib, put some gloves on. You're doing
Yeah.
compressions. And
Yeah.
I was asking, like, you mean me? Is it me? He's like, yes, you. Is there any other Adib here? Just put your gloves on. Let's do compressions. And he just had to completely run and start doing compressions while they do all of that. So it was my first time doing all of that. But as you said, like, I fully agree with what you're saying. If it's traumatizing, it's sad if it doesn't work, but it's needed. It's a requirement to be exposed to the goods and the bads in the ER or in medicine in general.
Of course.
So yeah, I also want to, let's say, wish people get a chance to experience this, but I also wish the patient survives,
Yeah. Well,
just like to make it better at least for the.
that goes without saying, man. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, for us, it's a good way to learn. For them, it's the worst experience of life. So, but yeah, we're kind of living here. So, rotating.
Enes, you want to give like a brief thing, like how Adib did as well, like in the beginning, just so like people
Yeah.
kind of know your story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a Syrian graduate from Georgia, the country in Eastern Europe. I did my postgrad training in intensive care unit in Rashid Hospital in Dubai, and every second of my training, whether it was in the intensive care unit, whether it was in the medical school, have been useful in while rotating with the doctors here in Rochester, Michigan. So the most important thing that I'm gonna preface with is rotating with Dr. Mary in internal medicine. I do believe that it was the cornerstone of getting adjusted to the whole U.S. Medical system, to the EMR, to how would you go with the patient, how to present, how to because I've talked about this with Mo before. I'm just gonna say it again. It's extremely mandatory to take the first month with Dr. Mary. Such a passionate doc, and I would actually say tough love is his way of making the students get a, yeah, get a hold on the EMR and this, because he do have the patience for it. The staff do have the patience for it too. So it's all in all, it's a win-win for everybody. At the same time, even though he's patient with you, but you gotta be, he's vigilant too. So you gotta take notice of everything he says. So why it's important, why it's mandatory? I do believe that it's for the sole reason of the amount of time you get for getting acquainted with the whole system, and to be, I mean, you gotta go one-on-one with patients, with nobody in the room, and the doctor will see how much responsible are you with lab results, how much uh, uh, deeply vigilant you are with the patient's symptoms, and he will start slow, step by step, to give you some responsibilities to do. So and then you're gonna just do the whole thing, and he will just come for a thorough investigation after you. So it's a quite a, I mean, even though it is a primary care unit there, but the thing is, all of these times that I went with the patients, and I mean, Dr. Mary listens, man. Dr. Mary really listens. I've never seen a doc who has the capacity to listen to all of these
He
complaints from
takes his sweet time. He
100%, man. And the patients know him for a while too. Like we're talking 20, 10, 15 years. And so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so he do know everything about the patients, but he would definitely give you a chance to take all your time with them and then go back with him with the results and what you think and what you think is the next best step. So you get the whole deal with him. So after that, you're gonna go with, for me, whenever I finish with Dr. Mary, uh, such an amazing doc, I swear to God. Then we went to Ahmed Saleh, and just like Adib said, man, this guy is too cool to be a doc, I swear to God. I've always said it, man. He's really too cool to be a doc. I mean, the thing is, if you
What do you mean by that?
I can give you one example straight off the back about this.
All right, just keep it PG-13, guys.
No, don't worry. We were just chilling, doing nothing in the clinic, and then he decides, is like, Adib, do you like cars? I told him, I don't mind cars. Like, I'm not that much of a fan, but no problem. It's like, I have something for you. So he takes me to a car dealership next to Rochester, and he's like, look at this bad boy. And he pulls out a Mercedes that's no longer in stock, like V10 or something, and just takes it for a test drive. And we just keeps driving around Rochester, just going 80, 90 miles an hour because he loves the sound of the engine. It makes him feel good just when he listens to that sound. So that was just one of the things that he would do, for
Okay.
yeah,
example.
well, Evan, here we have it, guys. Yeah, so you will definitely have a good time with him. Not only in terms of relating with the doc and stuff, and he's your supervisor and stuff, but yeah, he will take a good care of you. And this goes actually for all of the doctors. They everybody down with Renicius will go above and beyond with you. So that's what, in my opinion, that's what's students when they go chasing USCEs are sleeping on. Will the doctors give a shit about me or not? Because some doctors do not actually, they do not care whether you learned, whether you're sleeping well, whether you're eating well. They don't know your habits. But doctors back here in Rochester, they do know that it's a new environment for you, so they will constantly ask, what is it that you need? How are you with the new environment and stuff? How are you getting along with people? Is there anything bothering you? So they will go above and beyond with that. So that's actually amazing. So the thing is, so if we do a sequential order of going with Dr. Mary and getting grip of the whole presentation, then doing the HMP, then afterwards seeing the ongoing problems, ongoing medications, the test results, and how to intervene all of this into what's happening clinically, doing the physical examination as one-on-one with the patients. All of this, you're gonna be very good at it by the end of the rotation with Dr. Mary, and you're gonna go with Dr. Saleh there, and you're gonna be 100% sure that you're gonna use all of what you've learned with Dr. Mary in order to interpret that into the rotation in Awasa, because it is a big hospital in terms of what we saw in our countries, but the exposure is a lot, and you're gonna also have a one-on-one with patients. But this time it's in the emergency department, so you gotta be thorough. You gotta be not fast, of course, but you gotta be effectively fast. Let's put it this way. So once you are with Dr. Saleh, you are using the skills that you have developed and learned and sharpened with Dr. Mary, and then you're gonna go all in, and Dr. Saleh will make sure that everything is in check. And actually, all of the doctors there, and this I think what makes Pernicious outstanding in terms of who to go with in the USCs is they do not only make you good at interpretation, at medicine in general. No, they are teaching you what is essential for you to go into residency. How would you build your connections? How would you use that and use these connections for your own good? And how is it exactly that you're gonna go with the system? How are you going to address the staff? How would you this is actually this is and how do you write the notes? What are the ins and outs of of taking notes here in the US? What are the systems available? This is being slipped on a lot when patients are coming here. So you get the full package, especially when you're when you're in postgrad, and you basically got no time to waste. And like being I mean, there's no more, of course there's always medicine to learn, but at some point you want to be 100% sure that you are ready for the first year of internship. Because let me tell you, I've been introduced to a couple program directors. I've been introduced to the big names that are gonna get you into the residency and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, you will be amazed on how much some of the directors have set the bar so high, so that they don't need to babysit you. You know, you have to get you have to get the grip on everything pretty much. I'm not putting I don't want to put pressure on the upcoming residents, but the thing is, I'm just saying this beforehand so that you can get familiar on what they are expecting from you. And so this where doctors Mary and Dr. Saleh and another doctors come in handy. So they make sure that you're not going there to be a just like a baby being carried on. Doc, what should I do now? What should I do? Should I do this? Should I not do this? And for my opinion, it gives you both. It will give you a very good kickstarter, and plus it's going to give you the upper hand on your residents, your colleagues, when you're starting your residency. So that's actually very vital. And I'm a little bit sad that students sleep on this, and they're just focusing on getting the LOR, just like Adib said. And it's just like, it's very seductive to get a LOR from that hospital, and just I want the LOR and I'm gonna just poof and go. But it's absolutely, it's not going the way that students expect it is going. But yeah, so that's why. Um, uh, be sure, guys, to consider everything. Consider the aspect of residency and how are they going to train you whenever you're going to an elective. Yeah.
Okay, wow. That was very insightful. Um, I mean, I asked the audience a couple of times to ask any questions. I'm not really getting any. So, I mean, maybe what we can do is just maybe we can discuss like something, like maybe we can talk about your doubts before you guys went, because a lot of people, they kind of have like the same concern from what
Yeah.
I've seen. And I feel like so I mean, some concerns are like, okay, so like a lot of people, so I was talking to a student from University of Sharjah yesterday. And while we were talking, you know, when you can just kind of feel like somebody is hiding a feeling. And I was like, hey man, like, it's okay, you can be honest with me. Is there any doubt, concern, fear? Is there anything that's bothering you? Or like, um is there something that like you're not sure about? And he's like, look, for now, um I've never been to the US. You know, I don't know what it's like there. I just sometimes like think like, is it a safe area? I wish I can like, you know, rub a lamp and then have a genie like take them to Rochester at that point for them to see like just how nice and quiet it is. So from your experience, from the both of you being in Rochester and Owasso, how did you guys feel when you first got there? And what are your thoughts about the safety aspect of rotating?
Okay. If you want to go first, go on.
Go ahead. Very much, I'm gonna second everything you say. So yeah.
Probably. Uh, I mean, for me, the rotation I went on, this was my, let's say, first time actually going to the States.
Oh wow.
I went before, it was just tourism. So we really didn't we didn't interact with the community, with the society, and all that. It was just, what tourists do. Oh, we're going here, we're seeing that museum, we're going to that place, and we went back. But Rochester was, it looked like something out of the movies, where you're like sitting in the suburbs, you hear the birds chirping every morning. It's all green, all of that. And I think I went in a good time. Like, it wasn't too hot and it wasn't freezing. So it was the normal temperature. Um, as a community, let's say Rochester was your local, as I said, your local movie community, the one you see where the houses are all on the same level, neighbors know each other, everyone's saying, oh, good morning, how are you, whenever you're walking, smiling, waving, all of that. So if I wanted to talk about a safety aspect, I don't think you're gonna get shot in Rochester. Like, if you get shot in Rochester, I think you did something very bad that happened. Everyone is very friendly, all of that.
Yeah.
I never felt any danger walking, whether it was in the morning or coming back from a night shift at 3, 4 a.m. So I think that's not something that should be a worry at all, at least in Rochester. Owasso is a different beast. Owasso is something that you need to, but I did not witness Owasso as much as I just witnessed the hospital. But the stories you would hear from the patients coming in, whether, he had a raccoon infestation and he just took out his shotgun and started shooting them, or the amount of, it's all, I think it's more of a, not suburbs, but more of a rural area. It's
Yeah.
all farms, it's all, people who have lived there for generations. So like you find people who have been there since 78 years, generation after generation. I don't know much about it. As I said, I never went in a war, so I didn't live there. It was just the hospital over there and that area. And if the people in the emergency department were a good shadowing of what's happening outside, I would say it was also a good place. It was also, like, as I said, Michigan in general is a very non-racist place. It's a very accepting place. They have many communities from all over, whether it's Arabs, whether it's Muslims, to be like more general. And that's why seeing us, it's not something that they're shocked
It's
about.
new to them. Yeah, it's
For
not new
example,
to them.
seeing Anas with his beard, I don't think anyone commented anything about his beard.
No,
Well, if
actually,
we went to
one
Europe, it
of
would
the
be like,
patients, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the patients said,
Look. Look. The
yeah.
beard can pass as a lumberjack thing,
I
right?
mean, in Owasso it might,
No, but even Rochester, bro, like they're like, hey man, I like the beard. I was like, man, really? He's like, yeah, my son have the same beard as you. I was like, you just remind me of him. I was like, well, I'm happy that you like it, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
meanwhile,
I mean,
you hear all the negative comments in our countries. They're like, whoa, why am I?
whoa,
But yeah, safety
slow
should never
down.
be a concern, I think,
Yeah,
about this
yeah,
rotation.
exactly. No, actually, a funny thing is, I mean, from what I mean, you're gonna see some old Karens actually,
Yeah, you
very
see those,
old
they're
Karens.
everywhere.
Yeah, I know, right? So you're gonna see them, but imagine having a Karen like Karen that she is like 80 years, 80 plus years. I mean, just you're not gonna see them oftenly, but even these type of people, like they would not go the other way around and say something negative, at least not in your
Yeah,
face.
that's also true.
Yeah, so you're gonna be yeah, so I'm totally seconding what you said. I mean, nobody commented negative stuff about the way I look. I mean, probably everybody here looks exceptionally normal in terms of what the Americans usually look like. I mean, you're gonna see guys. You're gonna see some interesting to people who never went there. And I think me and Adib have seen enough of these of the outstanding characters. You're
Yeah,
gonna
you
see.
see a lot of them. But for me, also, I remember, for example, so you said you did your studies in Georgia. I did mine in Istanbul and Turkey, so like neighbors
Yeah,
technically.
exactly,
And
very much the same.
I've heard more negative comments here in Istanbul than I heard in Rochester. I
Oh
remember,
wow.
like every time I was in the clinic with Dr. Mer'i, the patient would ask me, "Oh, you're not from here, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm not actually. I'm just a visiting student." And be like, "Oh, where are you from?" So I tell him, "Oh, I'm from Syria." So the first reaction would be, "Oh, where is that?" So like that was the first. So whenever I hear, "Oh, where is that?" I feel safe. I'm like, okay, tamam. So I can paint the picture I want to paint about my country. There's
Yeah,
nothing real.
exactly.
Oh, they'd be like, "Oh, are you from a place where like they have camels, they have tents there?" I'm like, "Yes, exactly. I'm from that place, but like we upgraded. We don't have camels anymore. Now we just drive cars and all of that."
Upgraded.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think any student should worry about that aspect of the rotation. I think there's more stuff to worry about. Whether for me personally, the things when I first got accepted, I was genuinely scared from my own medical knowledge. Like, oh,
mm,
is the doctor gonna out me in front of the patient because I didn't know this? Is the doctor gonna be disappointed because he asked something I didn't answer? All of that. So like, I think focus more on that aspect. Focus more on obtaining the visa. That's also like something that gets slept on because that's
yeah,
also a
yeah,
long process,
yeah,
and now appointments aren't available readily. So you have to book, for example, 1 month in
yeah.
advance, 2 months in advance,
100%, man.
and
100%.
also, so those were the two things. The appointment thing somehow like God made it easy and it worked. I don't know how. That was pure miracle from God.
Yeah,
And about the doctors being disappointed at that, it was the complete opposite, as Anas said previously. Like Dr. Ahmed would ask me 2 3 questions and I would not know any of them. And he would just tell me, okay, bring a pen and paper and come, I'm gonna explain it for you. And then he would explain it, and then it all makes sense and you wouldn't forget it again. Same thing with
exactly.
Dr. Bira'i. He would ask you, for example, oh, why did this happen? Even if you answer the most retarded question you can answer, he
Yeah,
would still not like, as he has the patience of like, it's crazy. He would just be like, okay, why did you say that? And then he would go back with your train of thoughts until he tells you, oh, the mistake you did was in
yeah,
that part.
exactly.
That's why it isn't like this, it should be like this. And then you can build on that with other patients.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're all friendly doctors. Even the staff, they're so
Incredibly
friendly,
friendly. Yeah,
and the nurses are amazing. All of them, they all work as a team, and somehow you always manage to fit in that team. You don't feel
yeah,
anything
you're
about it. So like, yeah, that's something.
tighter there. Yeah, you just feel like you're super involved. Actually, you get handled a hefty amount of duties there. So the thing, you know what? I think if there's a Syrian viewer here, he would be very lucky because, I mean, everybody gets a hard time getting the visa, and everybody gets a hard time with his nationalities, and it's because of how disturbed is the Middle East is currently right now. But when you know that Syrian students and graduates are making it through the U.S. Embassy interviews, the U.S. Embassy border patrol police, uh, hearing that an actual Syrian nationalities are making it through all of this BS crap, the whole super regulations that are like, I mean, when you truly think about it, I mean, most of these Syrian students or our graduates, they are pretty much doctors. So having all of these restrictions and limitations on them is just absurd. And
But it's
whenever
all
for what like when I'm seeing another student who
sorry.
made it, like
I was gonna say something. I cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, no worries, no worries. But the thing is, when I saw Adib went there, it gave me a lot of comfort that okay, there's a Syrian who made it at least, right?
One of us.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember when we were sitting in Cartel when we first met.
Exactly.
And then you were telling me, I remember one of your first questions was, "Hey Mo, do you have any Syrian students before?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he told me
And we
that.
spoke about Adib.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the visa stuff, I don't know how much of the visa preparation, material, practice, um, whatever it was. I mean, like, through the experience of what we have seen with different students that
Yeah.
come from all walks of life. I mean, um, I think it's kind of like cracking sort of the right strategy in terms of like what your approach is. I don't know. Like Anas was us preparing you for your visa beneficial for you? Was
100%.
that
100%. Going from the mock interviews. I mean, probably some of the newcomers wouldn't know that we did a lot of mock interviews for the U.S. Embassy interviews. I mean, they were super funny, but at the same time, but towards the end, they were serious because you wouldn't notice that you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and some of the mistakes are gonna stick out with you until you go out to the interview. But Mo was a very good observer to tell me that okay, you're hyper focusing on this part. Don't say it in the interview. So I mean, you could do this with pretty much everybody, but not everybody knows what are the ins and outs of what's the counselor is going to ask you there. I mean. Whenever you do a lot of mock interviews, you get this BS will be bread and butter for you. So you'll be comfortable going in with the interview because you've been preparing for it a long time. So yeah, it was super helpful answering your question. Super
okay?
helpful.
Awesome.
I mean,
I have a question to ask you guys. How can we, as an organization, like, I mean, I talk to many students throughout the day, every day of the week. Um, and this is kind of like our way to authenticate, when people ask about
Mm,
um, the rotations and they're like, what is it like? What is it like this? But is it like that? It's very difficult to, you know, kind of take my word and be like, oh, okay, like I believe you, because of bad experiences that people have heard about, not so good programs.
exactly.
How can we as an organization maybe show the newcomers sort of the level of caliber and standard that these doctors give in terms of teaching? What sort of standard and caliber would you guys say, like, how would you rate the standard or the caliber of teaching that you guys had while you're there? How would you rate it? Would you say that, I mean, I personally know because, like, Adib refers students to me, Anas refers students to me. So I know you guys won't do that if you didn't think it was a good program, right?
Yeah.
But this is kind of like our time to show the people that have that level of doubt in their head, where it's like, hey, like, sure, the doctors are nice, they're kind, very professional, but this is like a serious program, like it's not like أنا طالع شمة هوا على أمريكا for 1 month. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
because some people might take that, like, hey, I'm going to the US for a month. Yeah, I'll go and it'll be a nice experience and I'll come back. you know? And the add-on to that is, do you think people with that mindset will be able to like استحمل the pressure? Because they won't be expecting it, right?
I
Like, did
mean,
you guys expect your electives to be the way they were?
I
Sorry.
expected
So
my
that's three
elective.
questions. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to remember the question. But to answer the last thing you asked, um, the expectations I had for the program, I knew it was gonna be like something different. That's what my first thought was. Okay, it's not gonna be something like I have experienced anywhere so far. So I had to prepare myself mentally. Like, I don't know, I just prepared for the worst. The worst being like the most difficult thing ever. That's what I expected in my head. Like, I'm gonna go and it's gonna be the most difficult thing ever. And if I go through this, I can go through anything. So this was the mindset I had going into the
Amazing.
program.
I did the same actually.
Yeah, like you can't. The mindset, as you said, like the whole Shammet Hawa mindset. I don't think a medical student who has this mindset should sign up to do anything outside, personally speaking.
100%.
Because
100%. I
even
agree.
Dr. Murray complained to me about this mindset. He was like, if you're here to just go on a walk, to just have fun, don't bother coming to the clinic. It's okay, I don't have any attendance, but just if you want to come in, you need to give your 100%. You need to give 101% to all of
Excellent.
this. And I think that's really important. Like, to say the mindset of a student is really what determines how the whole placement or rotation is gonna go in the end. You can go
Excellent.
in and be very serious, and if you are lucky enough to have an accepting doctor, you're gonna go to the end with that doctor, and you might even, as Anas said, they will connect you with their connections. You can meet program directors, you can meet other programs, you can meet other doctors. For example, for me, I think my elective was successful because I went back with 4 contacts. So that's something that isn't written in any program. For you, for example, the way you advertise, oh, it's a hands-on elective, but are you gonna go one step ahead of that and like give more than what you're used to give? Because you need to think of it as a chance that isn't readily available for anyone. Not anyone can just go and do that elective. So that's why, alhamdulillah, we are very lucky to have been able to experience such experience. Yani, many people would struggle, for example, financially. Many people would struggle with their whole visa situation, just being unlucky, all of that. So I feel if any student manages to get such an experience and they waste it, they don't deserve to continue with whatever thing that life is going to give them, because they really messed up. So I think that's 2 of your questions answered. But if I wanted to say what else can you do to market yourself, like, or to just show yourself that, okay, we are really serious about this, we are doing all of that, it's gonna be, I would say, more videos, more posts about what is actually happening during the rotation. For example, I've seen you post, for example, oh, meet Anas, he has completed this rotation. Meet Adib, he has done this. But for example, maybe if you can get a few patients to accept to be filmed or something, like look at the student doing that physical exam, look at him
Cool.
taking the history, all of that. You can blur out the stuff, of course, that is irrelevant. But I feel like this is something, because, for example, I did not expect that I was going to be the one who takes the vitals, that I'm going to be the one who's going to write the notes, that I'm
Nice.
going to be the one who's going to do CPR. Like, you say hands-on, of course, but how much of a hands-on is hands-on, like, if you get what I'm saying? So I think that's something that needs to be placed somewhere in your program description. I've had many students ask me, oh, how was your elective? And whenever I tell them, they all act like, oh, wow, so you actually did something. So I'm like, yeah, of course, I went to do something. It's not an observership, it's a hands-on elective. So maybe you can focus more on that aspect, I would say. And maybe as you get more students, that can also be like something for you to show off in front of people. Like, look, we have already had 100 students, 200 students, however number of students, and then that would give a little bit of genuinity to your program. Like, okay, you're not just here to take someone's money and go. No, you're actually getting your money's worth, whether it's with what you're experiencing, whether it's with the doctors being nice with you, whether like, if you are a service provider, you are paying for a service and you are receiving that service. If that can be shown in a way, I think that would be more than enough to just get people to actually believe, other than my own personal statement or Anas's
Sure.
statement or what all of that. That's what I would have to add, I would say.
Well,
Okay. And then
sorry.
would you say the level of teaching that was provided for you was of a high standard and caliber?
I would say it was up and beyond that. For example, I met amazing doctors here in Istanbul, but uh, maybe because I'm not familiar with the language as much, so I never got to experience that next step after that. But for example, when I went to the US, because I speak English, you can generally ask anything you want, and you can take it one step further, like, oh, okay, no, I'm interested in doing more. Do you have more days I can go to? Like, if you show the doctor that you're interested, they will really give it their all, whether it's in teaching or in just letting you handle the patient and all that. I remember I would tell Dr. Ahmed, oh, I'm interested in cardiology. The next day, he was like, okay, here's this doctor, he's a cardiologist, you can just go attend to him if you want. I told him I did not sign up for this. He's like, no problem, just go tell him you
Yeah.
came from my side. So like, that's something that doesn't get mentioned a lot. It's what you can do with the chance you've been given. Like, you've given me this chance, how much more can I make from this chance other than what is already there? Like, the fundamentals are there. Yes, I'm gonna go to clinics 8 to 5, but am I gonna do something more, or am I just gonna be like sticking to the schedule, finish my time,
Right.
after that I'm gonna go out from 5 till 9 and then I'm gonna sleep? Like, you have to fix, how can I say it, to make the most of this chance that you've been given. You've been given a limited time, it's 1 month, and you're going back to your country. You don't guarantee coming back again. So you need to use it the most that you can use it.
Correct.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Anas, are you willing to do some videos for us?
Well, I don't mind to, but the thing is, I totally agree with what he says. But for example, for me, when it comes of the caliber, let's say, I would say I would of course say that the testimonials and the whole videos and stuff, they all weigh. You gotta factor in that these things are very important, very essential, and very vital into the aspect of getting the word out for what is best for international medical graduates, the IMGs, because like you find the IMGs just scattering all over the place on uh, where is the good place to go? Will they have a good LOR and stuff? But for me, is the caliber was actually, and going back to your question, it was well, actually, guys, the doctors that you are rotating with are not the average doctors. They are actually, you're talking about the upper end, the higher end class doctors. You're talking about doctors who built their reputation to the level that whenever you go to a to a new contact or something, and you tell them, I came from Dr. Mary, I'm rotating with him internal medicine, and I just introduced myself, and he was like, and he will be like, Dr. Mary, yeah, I know this guy, and you'll be and they will be hooked up immediately because they knew that you took a quite extensive training. They knew who Dr. Mary is, so they knew they know exactly what his students will be. So
So it's like it goes a long way. It goes a long way to.
100%.
100%,
Oh,
100%.
so it's like, for me, that where I knew that I went with the right people. I'm rotating with the right people. This is the right place, and this is the right time, and inshallah, everything will turn out good for me and for everyone else who's joining. But um, you will be amazed on the fact that how prestigious, let's say, are the reputation of the doctors that you are rotating with. Um, um, it's quite tremendous. So Dr. Murray is an associate professor in Wayne State University. They do have a very good program there. So whenever you show him what you got, whenever you show your passion, he will definitely go above and beyond. So actually, I would say above and beyond is what stands out for the doctors there. So these two words, above and beyond, you're gonna see them. You're gonna see how hard they work with you in order for you to work hard with them back. So it was this for me is what's important in terms of this testimonial is what important for me to spread for Nicias and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. I'm very flattered. Alhamdulillah, and I'm very happy that you guys like.
Alhamdulillah, yeah,
I'm very happy that you guys actually went there,
yeah.
and I mean, especially with Adib, like it doesn't seem like Adib was there like a year ago, you know. And I guess I guess what I can take from that is like I guess it was that impactful where you know you can still feel like you've took in took in that knowledge and you know
Exactly.
um helped increase your knowledge in that area, you know.
Yeah.
Anas, I got a question
Go
for
ahead.
you. Because like I remember like your first week when you went there, you were like really passionate about like because I know that you know for a while you were looking for a good placement and you were on Reddit, you were on the Facebook groups, you were reaching out to other agencies that are 100% scams. You were, you know, trying to figure out like any way to see, you know, hey, like where can I find something that's meaningful? And then when you got there, you were like, people need to know about this
I know.
program.
Yeah.
Um,
For God. Yeah. Yeah.
if
100%.
you can just like, because I know you were very passionate about that. If you can just sort of like express some of that, so people can understand, you know, what are the sort of things that made you be like, I wish everybody knows about the electives that Fernicius offers because it would benefit a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna preface this with what Adib said. That it's a one and time only chance. So you gotta be super vigilant on who you're going with and what agency are you using, because especially if you're running out of time. So if you're still a student, you pretty much technically you still got till your graduation to get grip of everything, to finish your steps, to do an elective, because postgrad is Hui and observership. But once you graduate, you're lacking on time. So if you're gonna go someplace somewhere with somebody, I mean, it's better be worth it, because you don't have enough time to just go exploring, man. You're no longer a student. You have the YOG, the year of graduation, that is up and running, whether you are doing any rotation or not. I mean, the time will still pass, you know. So for me, and for anybody is out there who is just like me and the same situation, we are extremely vigilant and we're extremely attentive on whether to go with these guys or not. So what made me know that I picked the right choice? I mean, I was your typical I mean, I'm gonna stress that I was your typical Reddit and Facebook groups psycho.
No shame, no
Uh,
shame in that. It's okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? Because like at some point, man, you gotta log off and Reddit, and you gotta just start listening to yourself and taking testimonials from people you really trust, and you gotta some at some point you're gonna trust your guts and just go with it. But I was that guy actually. So whenever I came here, for me, I knew that I'm with good hands when I saw the doctor asking me, "Hey, how are you, man? Just forget about everything. How are you adjusting?" Will you go to we do a weekly football match? Would you be happy to come and join us? You would see some people. You would get introduced to residents. We'll have you accommodated with the whole community. And I was like, I came here for a rotation. I came here to like this. What people advocate for is militarizing the whole idea of being in an observership or in an elective, but at the same time, man, you're a freaking human. You gotta snap out of the mentality. Sometimes, I mean, of course, it's a one and only chance, and of course, you gotta give it all. You gotta go all in with it, and you gotta do everything that is possible from your end, but also you gotta go easy on yourself because some people do everything and they still do not get matched, man. You don't know where exactly. I mean, alhamdulillah, it's all nasib.
Of
It's all a
course.
blessing from God, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. But you'll be amazed about the stories you're gonna hear about people who did absolutely everything and they still haven't got the chance to match or haven't got an interview, man. I mean, we are hearing ridiculous numbers. We're hearing 270s, and they're still lacking on.
274.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I know who we're talking about,
Yeah.
man. And it is something absurd that it's happening right now. So you gotta be easy on yourself because sometimes it's just it could be possible that it is not your time now, and you gotta go easy on it. So for me, what that's when I knew that I'm in a good place, and especially like to just that was actually the cherry on top is when I went over the hospital and I start doing my own thing, introducing myself to the staff. And this was actually was one of the was Dr. Mary's advice. Actually, it was like, put yourself out there, man. You develop the skills to be a good advocate for yourself, for your own benefit.
100%.
So whenever I started doing that, and whenever I started mentioning that I'm with Dr. Mary and I am here for blah blah blah, and I'm super passionate, blah blah blah. I mean, all I got is
It
positive
it really
responses.
opens doors. It really does.
Yeah, it does, man. It does, and people. I swear to God, now. What's really trending now is going with some hospitals in the state of Chicago. And these hospitals, most of them, they are
Didn't
very, yeah.
didn't you apply to a place and it was like under a federal indictment or something like that?
That's the one which I'm speaking about. I mean, I don't think we can say the name the name in the live, but what I'm saying is do a background check on everything, guys, because
Do
like
your due diligence. You have to.
exactly, man. Because even if you get the chance to rotate with a good doctor with a good hospital, I don't think that you will guarantee the reputation of that doctor.
100%.
And how is he much and how much respected that he is in the whole medical field and the whole medical community, so that whenever you go around and introduce yourself in the state that you are rotating in, people are just going to say, okay, program director. I mean, everybody, you would, okay, America is a very big place. The whole US, the state, it's everything is massive here, but it's actually quite small when it comes to is this candidate good, is he not, what is his weaknesses and stuff. So it is not as big as you would think. It's actually a closed community in terms of determining whether this is a qualified person or not. So that's actually when I knew, when the doctors started to appreciate that I'm with Dr. Mary, I'm with Dr. A. So I was super confident that I didn't waste my time, I didn't waste my money, going with you guys. So yeah, so that's. I
I
hope
Okay,
that
just
answers
cool.
the
wanted
question.
to say something. I
Yeah.
think we had a question before in the chat, eyewitness. I don't know if
We did.
Zayn
It's
asked
from
it.
Zane.
Is he still in the live? I think he's still. So
Yeah.
that was a long time ago. I just remembered it now.
We did. So I wanted to open this time for questions. I Wish there was a way to. I was trying to figure out if like I could have pinned it or something, you know.
I think he
But I
has
knew
to
what I
send it in a
remember.
way.
I remember what his questions are. Which I mean, is he still in the chat?
I think he still is.
Is Enes? I'm sorry. Is Zane still in the live?
I mean, even if he's not, I mean, I think you could just save the live for for the upcoming 30 days, and
Yeah, but he had a particular question. Wait, I remember. Okay, I got it. He said, "I have a question. What rotations are you guys currently offering, and are there plans to introduce more in the future?" Okay, so that's more of a question for me, rather than for. Oh yeah, he's like, I'm here. That's a question more for me rather than for Enes or
Yeah, that's a you
Adib.
problem.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll answer it really quickly, Zane, just because we're on here. So I guess okay. So we have internal medicine eccentric rotations, which is like primary care, interventional cardiology, critical care pulmonology, GI, and then we have at the moment general surgery, advanced interventional GI, um, neurology, and ER ICU as well. So these are the electives that uh, we're
You
offering
guys
right
really
now.
expanded from the time I applied last year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we have like some stuff in the making right now as well, like ophthalmology and anesthesia.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, ophthalmology, I think it's far-fetched for all the internationals to match there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we do
like,
have Americans that come, and and
yeah,
orthopedics is there as well.
yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. But still, I would always encourage
Of
people to
course, of
check.
course. It's always a good experience.
Yeah. So, what medical centers did you guys rotate at?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm gonna. So first of all, I rotated with Dr. Murray in two centers. Let's say it's a clinic and a hospital. So the clinic, I think it's his own private clinic, and it's in Rochester Hills. I think it's called Barclay. I
Yeah,
think
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
Barclay
but
Clinic.
Barclay is an outpatient clinic to Ascension, by the way.
Ah,
yeah. It
oh yeah,
is
that's why
affiliated.
makes sense why it's all connected. The whole system was connected. The
Yes,
patient history and all of that. And the hospital that Dr. Murray is based in is in Ascension Hospital.
which has
Uh,
an IM residency program.
it's an IM residency program for Wayne State. I think also it's
That
also
is correct.
Wayne State University. So those were the, let's say, Dr. Murray's rotations. However, since I had more time in the ICU slash hospitalist slash ER team, that was in Memorial Hospital in Owasso. I don't think it has a residency program there. I think
It
it's just
doesn't, but it doesn't have a residency program. But in a year or two, they're looking to do a residency program there.
I mean, they really should. It's such a big hospital over there. They have to have
Yeah.
something. I think it's like a tertiary care center or something.
Yes.
They have the whole helipad, helicoptering
Oh
patients
yeah.
away and in and all of that. So like, it's a very cool hospital over there. So it's Memorial Hospital in Owasso, Ascension in, I think,
Rochester.
in Rochester, and Barclays Clinic in also in Rochester. Those were the ones I rotated. I don't know if Anas had an extra
And
one
this
or
is
not.
the exact same.
Ah, see, I think
Yeah, exactly.
it's a Syrian thing then.
Okay, he's got. So Zane has a follow up. How much would you say
Mm.
this rotation helped solidify your choices in choosing residency post graduation? That's a
Mm.
very good question, actually.
I think
That's a
That's
very
actually
good.
a
let Anas
really
take
good
the mic
question.
here. I'm gonna let Anas take the mic over here, and then I'm gonna answer it.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, well, actually, my advice is, I mean, at that point when you are a postgraduate, you pretty much you would have to know what specialty are you applying in, especially because time is not in your favor. So I would definitely advise you to know in terms of uh, just explore what is your passion exactly in which specialty before deciding to what rotation that I'm gonna choose. I mean, that's pretty much what is the last year of medical school is for, the internship. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna go through the whole departments, and maybe you find yourself an emergency. You'll find yourself in anesthesia. You probably say, I'm a better off with psychiatry. I'm a better off being a surgeon. Um, but my advice would be that the sooner you know that what specialty that you are going to specialize in, the better for you, so that when you come searching for a clinical experience, you get to know exactly, is this hospital good for this specialty or not. So um, you just speak with Muhammad about it, and just say, I want to do IM, I want to do pulmonology because I'm applying for IM. I want to do surgery because I'm applying for surgery. I'm gonna do I mean, uh, 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 program directors, they do appreciate the fact that you rotated in the specialty that you are applying for.
Of course.
That's why, yeah, that's why it's a little bit a red flag when you go applying for multiple specialties for the match, but they are not related. So some people might do is apply to family medicine along with pediatrics, or
Right.
apply internal medicine with neurology. It's a far fetched to get interviews from either sides, because they're not related. So probably what Zain is thinking, that he will go uh, to the US and see where he is at in terms of residency. I would definitely not suggest you to do that. No, it's way more beneficial for you and time saving for you just to know that I am. So I'm gonna go and choose any rotation that is offered for IM to apply for the IM
So
match.
essentially,
So
you're saying you need to know what you're doing so you can build your CV around that whole specific
exactly,
thing that
exactly,
you're going for.
exactly, 100%, man.
Seed
Yeah,
and water. Seed
Yeah.
and water.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Seed and water.
And being in this situation where you are a post grad, and you still want to figure out what you are doing, it's stressful, knowing only that I've got this some limited amount of time to finish whatever I'm doing, to finish the steps, to finish the rotation. Because I mean, a heads up for everybody, if there's like people who are just new to the whole match application stuff, some programs actually do filter out people who have more than 3 years in the year of graduation. So you gotta be. I don't want to put any pressure, but it's always a good thing to hear it beforehand, so that you know what the hell is going on out there. So you don't want to be the one who's sitting on his couch just thinking, what I want to do this, what I want to do that, and the time is running, man. So yeah, um, some programs do filter out old graduates. Some don't. Some have the cutoff at 5 years. Some do have at three
I mean,
years.
yeah, you can. I think there are many websites I remember
Yeah,
seeing
for
that just
Frida, actually,
you can do
Frida.
your research to see
Yeah.
it. Because also I remember from people who applied, you don't want to apply to a program that's gonna filter you out anyways. You might think, oh,
100%.
maybe
You're
they're
gonna
gonna
lose money,
see.
man.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna see anything you apply if you just filter you out, and it's
100%.
just a
Yeah.
waste of money at this point. So like, yeah, you should be careful from
A
all of that.
hefty amount of money, bro. Like, because if somebody did a calculation on Twitter, it's if you apply to all internal medicine programs, you're gonna pay in cumulative amount what totals to 9 grand. I mean,
Yeah,
9 grand.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's something.
That's
That's not a small amount of money. Yeah.
This is definitely not, man. And you don't want to be wasting all of this. I mean, this without the fees of the examinations themselves, and the fees of applying for the NRMP, the tokens for the LORs and stuff. All of these, could be 100s, 200s, a couple of bills, but it all adds up to a big amount of money, and your wallet's gonna be bleeding soon, buddy. You wanna be
You're gonna start
more.
in that.
It's already started, man. Yeah, you know. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. I was trying to get Islam in, but he didn't want to come in. Okay,
This
cool.
guy is great, man. I just told you what we've been going through for the past 3 days, man. Two
Oh, the two
occupations,
code blues.
two go blues, bro. Like
Okay,
keeping me
I'll let him
brave.
rest then. I'll let him rest. Cool.
Habibi Islam, I
Guys,
got you covered, man.
I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I have a flight to catch. We do have one pending question for Adib.
Mhm.
What year of medical school are you in?
Oh, okay. I'm currently in my last year of medical school. I'm in my 6th year, doing my internship right now, and I'm about to graduate in a month. So
Oh wow!
it's
Congratulations, man.
finally happening. Yeah,
Bro, bro.
Allah
Allah
barik
يوفقك.
fik.
Send me
Yeah.
your send me your send me your send me your graduation date. Maybe I'll come.
No
Maybe I'll come to your
worries.
ceremony.
Of course, I'd love having you, bro.
Yeah, why
The
not?
moment the
Nice.
moment they tell me the date, I'm sending it to you. No worries.
Okay, 100%,
You know, I
100%.
just wanted to say something before you wrap this up. We've been trying to do something for the USMLE, the whole thing, the whole your program. I was trying to talk with Dr. Ahmed about it. Maybe just like a quick introduction to the people in my university about the programs you offer and all of that. And I talked to him. He told me he's gonna come back to me, but I think he got busy and he didn't come back to me. So
It's got
we don't
code
mind
blues
having it.
every day, man.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we don't mind having it as a webinar or anything also, because we already had an event talking about the USMLE and the matching, but I think it would be amazing to have an event about doing the rotations or the clinical observations of those abroad. And I think it would be beneficial for the both of us. I mean, you get to market yourself to our university, and the students get to actually see from the people who are running the whole thing. So maybe we
Sure,
can talk about that later on.
for sure. I'll be more. I mean, like if BAU like is okay with me coming over and um giving sort of like an A through Z like presentation or whatever. I mean, I'll be
I
more
don't
than happy to.
think they would mind, and even if they do, we can try to convince them that no, it's okay, don't
Sure.
worry. We've had guests before, so we can talk about it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna probably be like either end of May or beginning of June, something like that. If it would be happening, as I said, you don't have to personally be here if it's difficult. It can always be a
I
webinar.
would rather I would rather come just so I can like connect with the
No
students.
worries.
I get to meet you. I get to meet Sarah. And connect with your university, see how we can work around like a streamlining process to how it's like if BAU students come, and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah,
so no problem. I mean, like I think it's like a 3 or 4 hour flight Dubai Istanbul, so I mean it's not an issue. Just as long, yeah, I'll connect with you sometime this week in order for us to like finalize the dates and everything.
yeah. No
um,
problem at all.
yeah, yeah, and then I can make it down there. Yeah, for sure, no problem.
Okay.
Cool. Well, guys, يعني first of all, Allah يعطيكم العافية. يعني really thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
taking time like from your day off to like come and talk to us so like other students can sort of learn. I don't want you to belittle the amount of appreciation that I have in terms of like that time given. It was really good connecting. I hope that the people that were on the live, got to sort of learn about our program and some of the things that we're offering and these sort of things. So yeah, we're planning to run a webinar once a month. So for all of you that's on this live, this won't be like a thing we do once a blue moon. It's sort of a new goal we have where once a month we will have a webinar to speak about topics that are important for IMGs or American IMGs in terms of like, you know, the whole residency thing or finding the right elective.
Sure.
So yeah, thanks for the viewers as well for whoever joined. NS, thank you so much as well. I know that it's your day off. And I really so NS, I look forward to seeing you in July. صح?
Yeah.
Okay. And Adib, inshallah, end of this month, beginning of June.
Inshallah.
Okay, awesome guys. Well, Godspeed and we'll speak soon. Thanks for everyone that joined as well. Take
سلمنا على
care
الدكتور
everyone.
احمد ضروري.
وصل أفعالك.
تمام.
It's my pleasure.
أهلا وسهلا. Take care guys. مع
باي باي.
السلامة.
باقي
السلام
زي
عليكم.
Bye.
مع السلامة.